Welcome to the Audacy Soundspace. My name is Race Taylor from CBS FM in New York City. We are in the heart of Times Square at the Hard Rock Hotel, and the guest to my right, no stranger to this city, with a brand new album, a brand new tour, and a lot to discuss. Please, a round of applause from our small audience in the room today for the one and only Mr. Billy Idol. Welcome back to New York City.
Thank you, Race. Thank you, everybody.
It is so great to see you. I think I should start while I pick up my card with the first question on everybody's mind. Where is it, this fountain of youth that you have apparently found somewhere? You look fantastic.
Cheers, thanks. I don't know. It's sheer luck, I think.
California, Florida, the dirty rock and roll, maybe?
Yeah, doing the thing you love kind of keeps you.
It helps a lot, right?
Yeah, it does help, yeah.
Brand new album is called Dream Into It. It is out later this month, plus an upcoming tour with Joan Jett, the nice day to tour again. Let me start with the video, the little concert teaser. What a fun little vignette, filled with stars.
Yes, it was fantastic. We did it with Matt Rife, the comedian, and he's fantastic. He's great at ad-libbing, so he made it a lot of fun. And it's just trying to make it fun, a great promo. We're excited about going on tour, so it's really great.
If I remember, most of his comedy tour video and poster signage was a direct honor to you.
Well, yeah, that's what kind of gave us the idea, because he was using sort of some of the Rebel Yell, Whiplash Smile logos and imagery and stuff, so it made perfect sense. Yeah.
You were so natural in that entire piece, it got me to thinking about a few cameos you've done, like a little bit of work with Adam Sandler. We followed him all fall, all around New York and New Jersey, filming Happy Gilmore 2. We were wondering if maybe you're going to be in a celebrity foursome somewhere on the big screen.
Wow, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, it was great working with Adam in the Wedding Singer and everything. It was fantastically good fun. I was taking my son to see, my son was really young at the time, and I was taking him to see Adam's films back then. So when I saw the Wedding Singer idea, I just thought, well, we're going to see them anyway. I might as well be in it. This is fantastic. And it just cracked me up. The script was fantastic.
That's awesome. We have a brand new album called Dream Into It. How much time in the studio? How many songs to get to where we have that we're going to listen to in just a couple weeks here?
Yeah, we just really thought we'd keep it to like a 9-song album, which back in the day, that was kind of how many songs you could get on vinyl and it would sound really good.
Yeah.
There was you can only put a certain amount of time on a vinyl record because of the nature of how loud you could have it. So we just thought let's keep it to 9 songs, but let's make sure that, as far as we're concerned, every song's killer. And I think that's what we've got here.
Absolutely. All guitar-based, though. Am I mistaken? There seems to be a lack of keyboard work on this.
Yeah, there's like a low bass note, because, nowadays with the subs and everything. But apart from that, I think there's a Celeste on something, but I don't think there's a lot of keyboard pads. In the old days, Billy Idol, we always had a ton of keyboards.
Right.
Steve's done it all with his guitars, and that's kind of like fantastic to hear, because all the Steve Stevens are on this record,
The amazing guitar player, co-songwriter, been with you for decades now, and I understand he will also be honored should a little ceremony happen later this year with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yes, that's right. We're going to both be inducted at the same time if we get in. But
that is awesome.
It would make an incredible cap to the year if with this great album, and we're going to be playing Madison Square Garden and at the Forum in LA. So capping off the year with even just getting the nomination's great. But
how do you find out that you're nominated?
I don't know. I suppose my manager or someone. I suppose they told.
Because we envision like a white stallion coming up the driveway and a proclamation and everything else. Something totally grand.
Yeah, fanfare.
Yeah. Awesome. Listen, you can vote if you would like. Vote.rockhall.com. I've checked the fan vote many times. You're very near the top of the leaderboard. And let me just say this. If by chance you're a fish fan and you're half-baked with another tablet, you spell fish, BILLYIDOL. Go ahead, cast that vote multiple times every day. I have a feeling we're going to see you at the Rock Hall.
I really enjoyed Ozzy's induction, their solo induction. I was part of that.
You were fantastic.
It was a great night, and the vibe actually there is really great because there's so many people there, and then a million people I didn't know. Like, it's great meeting Jelly Roll and working with him, and then Dua Lipa. I met a load of people that I didn't know, so it was, and hanging out with Dr. Dre and Method Man. It was a fun night, it was a really cool, fun night. I don't think you'd necessarily get that feeling from watching it, but being there, it was quite a different experience from watching it. I really enjoyed it, so it made me really think, apart from that, just thinking about, imagine being in something with Bo Diddley, Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Jerry Lee Lewis, Buddy Holly. Even those guys. Think about that, let alone everybody else.
It's a legendary community.
Crazy.
And all the names that you just mentioned influenced by you in some way or another.
Yeah, I mean, that we grew up with. When I was growing up in the 60s, I was only really little, but I fell in love with rock and roll when I was 7 years old, and you could only look back, you could only hear what the Beatles would talk about Elvis, or they talk about Buddy Holly or Eddie Cochran.
Sure.
And so, we listened to that music, that's... I found out the other day that Communication Breakdown by Led Zeppelin, they were playing Nervous Breakdown, Eddie Cochran, and then just... And they turned it into Communication Breakdown and kind of went, oh, of course they did.
That is amazing.
Because that's where we all came from. We came from, we were... You had to... The only place you could look back to was the 50s, how it all started.
Yeah. This brand new album, Dream Into It, also features collaborations. Let's start with The Wild Side with Joan Jett. This is not the first time your paths have crossed, is it?
No, we've played shows together, and we've never done a tour together, so this is going to be fantastic. But I met Joan in 1978 when I was doing a promo tour for the First Generation X album, the punk rock group I was in 1978, and I'd just seen the Germs and Dead Kennedy at the Whiskey A Go-Go, and then hung out with Joan and about 20 other girls who were all like in little miniskirts and go-go boots, and it was that scene, it was really a lot of fun. It was great meeting her, and she's fantastic. So
let's stick with that era for just a second. You're in New York City for the first time around that time of that decade. What is your impression coming here as a punk rock guy going out to create a solo thing that has not yet become what we would know years later as the Billy Idol experience?
Well, it was. You were kind of, for a lot of people, it was a new thing that most people hadn't heard of, and so there was only a very few radio stations into it. There was one in San Francisco that was super into. It was one of the only stations playing the new music, because most people didn't get punk rock. They just couldn't understand it,
Right.
And but gradually, so you did feel like you're on a bit of an evangelizing mission. You knew people weren't necessarily, they didn't know about it necessarily, but you just knew you had to go there. And of course, there was a lot of people who were involved in the scene who just knew it was important, and so it was a fantastic. But it was great coming to New York and hanging out and just meeting people and everything. And just I lived here when I was a child. I lived in America on Long Island, and I'd come to New York, so it wasn't quite as foreign to me as it is for some English people.
Right. So you carve your own lane, which now finds new life in a song called 77 with Avril Lavigne, which kind of speaks to those people, the rebels, the misfits, maybe those who don't necessarily know where their tribe is yet.
Yeah, that's right. That's I think the first verse that Avril Lavigne sings, it's really about sort of not fitting in. A lot of people don't fit in with the sort of cliques or cliques at school and feel a bit of the outsiders, but this is their youth, this is their time. They've sort of got to grab it. And then I thought about, well, what about in my time back in the 70s in England? It wasn't so different. England's a little bit of a microcosm of what's going to happen in America because it's a polyglot society. There was a lot of sort of the country was in a massive depression, and people were very polarized, and that was something that led to a lot of the youth groups of the time fighting each other because they were following different sort of political groups. Like
Sure.
the skinheads were very into the sort of National Front fascism, and then we were a lot more liberal. We were embracing the sort of immigrants and stuff who'd come to England and who now had children, and there was a pushback against all that, and so we were there was a bit of a war between the youth movements, and that's what I'm kind of singing about in the second verse.
And from that movement came this sound, which you've been true to your entire career. Now, our company, throughout the course of the year, has a focus on mental health and a special that we air every fall called I'm Listening. If you wouldn't mind, a question that is maybe more serious and geared toward that. With decades in this business and having endured fame and the everything that comes with it, from not being able to walk outside of your door to even your last tour, we watched the struggles with some health things. How has the mental health conversation changed or progressed over the course of your career? What have you found?
Well, of course, people understand a lot more that a lot of people are struggling with sort of mental health and everything, and I think we were very aware of it back in the 70s and stuff, but there again, people just didn't know quite how to deal with it, and maybe they didn't have the sort of it's taken time to understand, for the doctors and everybody to really get a grip on
Sure.
how much it affects so many people, because even I didn't realize just how much it affects so many people, but over the years I've come to realize just what a struggle it is for some people.
How mental health and physical health work in tandem, and now the ability to talk about it openly, maybe without the stigma or the criticism.
Yeah, it's great, because people should try and understand that, because we're not all exactly the same, so you need to have some empathy, really.
Absolutely. On the topic of health, how are you getting ready for this tour? It's going to be a marathon from the dates at, let's say, Red Rocks or the Kia Forum, where a portion of the proceeds will go to the wildfire relief, to Madison Square Garden. Do you get a hangar? Are you in an old arena? Are you singing on a treadmill? How does it work for your tour prep?
Yeah, I do work out and stuff, and I do. This is in terms of me, my body. This is the instrument, Of course, Steve Stevens, my guitar player, plugs into a machine then, and then. This is the instrument, so I have to really think about taking care of it to a certain extent, and also, I need energy, I need breath on the stage, and you don't want to be up there and finding you don't have the energy, you don't want to get up there. So the thing I have to do today a little bit because of my age is I just have to parcel out how I'm going to use my energy, and as long as I do that, I'm fine, because at this age, if you push yourself and you hit a brick wall, when you were young, you could push and go through a brick wall
non-stop
and keep going somehow, I don't know, but this age it's not quite like that. So as long as you parcel out your energy and sort of prepare thoughtfully about where you want to use your energy, actually you can do exactly what you used to do in spades, but you just have to sort of think about it a bit.
Sure. I just saw the 1983 MTV New Year's Eve interview with you backstage. That was a ball of energy. I completely understand how that has to be harnessed and parceled out. One final question before we're out of time. So many people talk about streaming and about new media and about YouTube and video. I want to bring to light the intimacy and the relationship that people have only with radio. Do you have a specific radio memory? Maybe it was a song, maybe it was in your room listening to the King Biscuit Flower Hour or something like that inspired you. Is there a moment that comes to mind with your relationship with radio and how it maybe helped you down your path?
Well, in England, there wasn't a lot of rock and roll and stuff being played on the British radio station, but there was a station in Luxembourg that used to play all the latest stuff from America. It would play the stuff the BBC wouldn't play, but the thing was, it used to fade in and out. So you're really kind of hearing things. I'd be underneath. Also, I'd be like a 7 or 8 year old kid underneath the covers in my bed listening. So this was the lifeline. Radio was a lifeline to this world that we were like dreaming about, but we could hear all the latest stuff. So radio is so super important, and then even hearing my own music on the radio was like, it was incredible.
An arrival, right?
Yeah, it was just incredible hearing it. Wow, now it's my stuff on the radio. It was nuts. It was great.
It is so important, and I think still vital, because there is no other medium that makes that personal, intimate, and lasting impression. I can tell you, my friend, I have dreamed of this moment for my entire life, and in my dreams I usually end up in the back of an alley with my ass kicked. This has been such a pleasure. Congratulations. Good luck going forward with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Billy Idol, It's a Nice Day to Tour Again is coming to a city near you, whether it's LA or New York or anywhere in between. And of course, the brand new album, Dream Into It, out later in April. Thank you so very much.
Cheers. Thank you, Race. Thank you, everybody.
Enjoy that video? See more interviews, more performances, and more of your favorite artists by subscribing and downloading the free Audacy app.